Hi folks, how you all doing? Croster6 here. Hope you're all having a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are in the world. Whilst we watch the gameplay in the background in the T100LT on Pilsen, I'm going to talk a little bit about this new incoming, not new because they were here before, the action heroes. Snake Plissken, Rambo, John Rambo, and the other one, Chuck Norris. So anyway, before we get into the battle, let me take you to the World of Tanks news page. Now you can go and check this out for yourself if you don't believe me, but here we go. So here we go then. This is dated June 21st, 2021. The action heroes are back. New 3D hero commanders. They're not new, they were here before. Hero skins and discounted bundles. 1 week only. Oh, they're making it sound it's a bit sort of, mouth-watering, this, isn't it? From the 22nd of June to the 6th of July. You can't keep a hero away from the action. That's why John Rambo, Snake Plissken and Colonel James Braddock, the three legendary characters featured in the Action Heroes season, are returning this week in action. Heroes Reborn. So it's not new then, they're reborn. So they were here before. Yeah, they were, not so long back. That you could earn for free. Remember this, you could earn this for free. You bought the season pass and you were able to earn all of this stuff effectively for a very, very small price. So here we go then. Action Heroes bundles. Last month, Colonel James Braddock from the film Missing in Action came back as 3D hero commander. Okay, fair enough. There's John Rambo in all his glory. Yeah, Sly Stallone. Yeah, very good. Oh, there's Snake Plissken, Kurt Russell. Look at that. Hero commanders start with 3 open skill slots and have a 30% commander XP earn rate, so that they hit hard the second they arrive in battle. Plus 3D commanders are separate and different from their 2D commander versions, meaning you can own 3D and 2D versions of each action hero's commander. Whoopee-doo. Well, there you go, we got twins now. Whoopee-doo. But that's not all. Sounds like one of these commercials, isn't it? Trying to remember whether you get the commercial and say, but that's not all you get. We've also created themed hero skins for 2 Eastern Alliance vehicles so that you can roll out in 80s action flick glory on the Cold War battlefield. Check them out. No thanks. So, what's my thoughts? Well, look how much it is. Look how much they want to part you from your wallet. 66,500 gold. Well, in my money, that's over £300. So, in American money, US dollars, that's well over $300. And so, I'm taken aback by it all. There's one thing, putting a hood over your head and riding on horseback down some dirt path or something like that, some little country trail, and stopping a carriage and saying stand and deliver. And I guess this is a modern day Dick Turpin, isn't it? I mean, Wargaming have always been very, very good at relieving you of your hard-earned cash. But what you've got to remember is you don't need to spend this kind of money on a video game. On pixels on a screen, you don't need to do it. And if you're new to this game and you're watching this video, then I implore you, do not, under any circumstances, stick your hand in your pocket and pay this kind of money for this shite. It's horse manure, it's shite. You're being ripped off. And that's it in a nutshell. You are being ripped off. You do not need to pay that kind of money for pixels on a screen for a video game. Just think how many top shelf titles you can buy for £300 or $300 odd. The top titles I'm talking about. At least 3 or 4. And you get a lot more enjoyment from it. Now, they try to advertise these tanks as the best thing since sliced bread. Now, what do you get? You get the Concept 1B, which is the tank that you could earn for free before. You bought the Battle Pass, the Season Pass, and you worked your way through it by grinding through, just playing game after game after game. And eventually you were given the Concept 1B and the Object 268 version 5 and the Strandwagen K. Now, what's so good about all of these 3 tanks and what's so bad? The Concept 1B, it's a mediocre tank. It's not the greatest. I've got to be honest about that. The 268 version 5 is a pretty decent tank. It's got a very good cannon on it, good mobility, blah, 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 blah. But again, is it worth £300? No, it's not. And the Strandwagen K, it's an okay tank. It's not the best. It's okay. But they try to, bamboozle you and say, oh, you're going to be great on the battlefield, Commander. You're the best. You're the greatest thing since sliced bread. All you need to do to be one of the greats is spend 66,500 gold, and that's a 25% saving. Honestly, don't do it, please, I implore you. Do not spend that kind of money on this shite. You don't need to. You're being ripped off. You do not need to do that. Now, I tell it how it is in my mind. Now, a lot of people may disagree with me, and some people will agree with me. All I can say to you is 66,500 gold. Think of that in real terms, real money, which is a hell of a lot of money. You know, it's over £300, over $300 for a video game. You don't need to do it. Honestly, you don't need to do it. You really, really don't need to do it. Anyway, let's get back to the game. So as you can imagine, my thoughts on this just blatant money grab. To me, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Now, I know we've been through COVID and all that kind of stuff, and more people, because they've been in lockdown at home or whatnot, have all been turned into video games as a release. And I get that. I really, really do. Now, I can't tell you how to spend your money. Some people out there are probably going to say, well, I don't really care what you say or think. If I want to buy it with my money, that's exactly what I'll do. And absolutely 100% I agree with you. You can spend your money on anything that you want to spend it on. That's absolutely fine by me, and I don't have any issues with that whatsoever. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't be spending money in the game. What I'm simply saying to you is this is just horrifically high for effectively pixels on a screen. And me personally, I'd hate to think that people are spending money on something that they're not really, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. It really isn't worth it. But it's up to you at the end of the day whether you decide to spend that kind of money or not. It's entirely your choice. But you won't be overly impressed with the tanks. You're not going to spend that kind of money, get the tanks, get them all dressed up, take them out on the battlefield and dominate every game and make thousands and thousands of silver every game, because it just doesn't happen that way. It never ever does. And the amount of times that I've bought a tank and thought, oh, this tank's going to be fabulous, and you'll take out on the battlefield, and very, very quickly when the grace period is over, all of a sudden your fabulous, fantastic tank that you thought was the best thing since sliced bread turns into the biggest pile of shite you've ever played, and you've sat there scratching your head thinking, well, I'm not playing this game any different from I normally do. Why all of a sudden am I getting penned every time, and why do I keep losing? Why am I out the battle early? Have I changed the way my play style is? It's not. It's because you get a grace period. Albeit Wargaming won't admit it, you get a grace period with any new tank that you get that will give you a certain amount of battles where you seem to be doing really well, especially the ones that you've paid hard-earned cash for. So my recommendation is don't touch this with a 50-foot disinfected barge pole. Honestly, I'm sure the thought that we came up the Clyde on a banana boat with our heads zipped up the back, thinking that people would be quite happy to pay 66,500 gold. Yes, you can break it down and you can buy just individual commanders and all that kind of stuff, but again, it's still not worth it. Seriously, it's not worth it. And I think it's ridiculous that Wargaming, especially in today's times with COVID and people are struggling for money, people are just struggling just to survive, and they blatantly put out 66,500 gold like it's just confetti, like people have just got that kind of money to throw around, and that's what sticks in my throat. And I think it's pretty bad. I find it's quite insulting, to be quite honest, because you know it just shows the empathy of Wargaming is absolutely zero. You know, we're all supposed to be in this together. And then thinking, oh well, you know, yeah, our finances are down a little bit. I'll tell you what, let's put these 3 tanks back out there again, and we'll charge them 66,500 gold. How much is that? Oh, it's about £300. Oh yeah, they'll pay that. Yeah, they're mugs. They'll pay that. That's fine. And I'm sorry, but it's wrong. I find it really annoying that they believe that people have that kind of spare cash to just throw around. As I say, especially in these times of COVID. And it's disgusting. You know, some people are really struggling just to, you know, get food to the mouth and put food on the table for them and the families. And their only release, really, was a video game. Albeit, you know, I've got my own thoughts and opinions on how this game is going and where it has been, in the direction it's been heading in towards. But that's a separate issue. That's for a topic for another day. But for me personally, I just think it's ridiculous and quite self-centered and mean by Wargaming, expecting people to pay that. So it's like anything, isn't it? You know, the only way that you can get businesses to pay attention to your true feelings about what they're doing is to basically deny them of what keeps them afloat, and that is money. And if the customers aren't buying their products, their produce, they very, very quickly start to scratch their heads and think, well, why are people not buying that now? What are we doing wrong? What have we done that's caused people not to buy that? And this is a perfect example of how Wargaming really ought to be shown the door and told what shit doesn't hit them on the way out, because it's ridiculous. I mean, this game's rapidly going downhill, and it has been for quite some time, with the new updates and all that kind of stuff. And I still have the vain hope that Wargaming are going to try and drag it back from the abyss and say, you know, look, yes, we messed up, blah de blah de blah, but we're trying to change things for the better, and this is how we're doing it. And we are getting some maps back and all that kind of thing. But you know, to compound it with 66,500 gold for 3 tanks, 3 pixels on a screen, to me is just downright disgusting. It really is. And shame on you, Wargaming, for being so belligerent, selfish and self-centered, for expecting people to pay that for effectively a video game. And it's wrong. I'm sorry, but it's wrong, and you are bang out of order for what you're trying to drag out of people. And it's ridiculous. And as I say, with new players, a lot of them are just coming into the game and they're thinking, oh, what's this all about? Let me have a look at this. Oh, £300, 65,500 gold. How much is that? Oh, I'll just put it on the credit card, or I'll just put it on my Visa card, or whatever. And it's only really when you realise of how wrong that is through experience of playing the game. Now, I've got over 75,500 battles, and so I'm not trying to brag to say, oh, look at me, I'm an experienced tanker and all that. I'm not. It's just that I hate the thought of people getting ripped off. It's something that really sticks in my throat, and I'm just imploring you, please, please, don't bow down to it and don't spend that kind of money. But I can't force you to buy or not to buy. That's your choice. But anyway, at that, I'm going to end the video there. We've come to the end of the game. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.